Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is my first official upload on MR How to Tech. I recently brought you an idea that I would intro with this idea. And this is my Fat Shark goggles and a TV antenna. Why not? Well, to start off, I'd like to introduce this situation, and I will go to live feed so you will see what I'm talking about. But the TV antenna I have is an RCA Ant 112F indoor antenna. And as you well know, probably, at least those that are tech savvy, the FPV equipment is an SMA cables. Well, the TV and other electronics that tend to be TV related are coaxial. So, there's a problem with this, folks. Very big problem indeed. You will need to get you ready for this? An SMA coaxial adapter. Depending on your exact hookups, I actually have a female SMA and it's a male SMA to female coaxial, I believe. And I have a Fat Shark headset. I forget the model. You'll be able to see it. It's one of the generics. With, like I said, an RCA Ant 112F indoor antenna. Now, realistically, this is not rocket science. This should work regardless of what we do. It's not rocket science, folks. All this stuff receives transmissions and sends out various signals. So the situation should be very, very clear as to the why not factor. Well, unfortunately, folks, it is very clear. It's very clear in that please don't do this without information on the how-to factor. Now, it's unfortunate that I have actually, unfortunately, I believe ruined my goggles, because I think there needs to be a secondary adapter for the power, or something similar. So please do not try this at home, and I'll list everything in a while. And I will show you why you shouldn't do this without figuring out what I need to make this work. And as I'm talking right here, folks, I want to assure you that I do believe there is a safe way to do this. I have yet to find out the how factor. So, this is an unfortunate situation where modern technology and my ingenuity have unfortunately ruined a piece of tech gear that cost me about $300. Now, I don't think that it's completely ruined. I think it can be salvaged. Problem is, Fat Shark is not getting back with me, which really kind of sucks. So, lo and behold here, folks, I will probably start the live feed soon. I have a Fat Shark Teleporter headset. That's the kind it is. And I have my SMA coaxial going into the antenna. And I have the antenna on top of something. And I'm going to show you the results so that you know not to actually recreate this. It is unfortunate, folks, that I believe I have ruined my goggles. But I've ruined my goggles for science and nothing more. So everything should be good. I have not yet hooked up my good camera, so the third-party camera will actually have to do on the one on my laptop. So this is what I'm actually going to show you. I have my teleporter, FPV goggles, with the SMA coaxial split going into my antenna. My antenna over here. Now, I don't have a camera, but I just wanted to see if the signal worked. Well, I don't have it on right now, and I'll put it on in a minute, and you can see what actually does or does not work. And unfortunately, I think I've actually fried this. So I have my battery here for my teleporter goggles, and I have my antenna for my Fat Shark goggles over here. I probably got to play with the antenna. There's probably different things, and if I bought a really good antenna, it might even work again. I don't know, but I think that this is just overpowering it. I have yet to try it outside or do anything like that, because the last time I tried this, unfortunately, there was some kind of service truck outside looking for a signal. I don't know what it is. Nowadays, it could be undercovers in weird vehicles doing weird things, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to figure out if I can connect these safely to where my equipment works. And then I would put on my camera, and we would, see if it actually worked. And the idea is that when you're using your FPV system, folks, that you would be able to get like a quadruple range or so out of this. Well, this and that and everything else, folks. So, everybody wondered whether or not this would work. Well, let's see it. So, it's off right now. There's nothing in the actual goggles. It's on. And as I'm looking through them, folks, I'll tell you exactly what I see. I'm seeing almost nothing but a static image. Now, let me try to reposition these and see if I get something better. Because usually, I know there's sound, I know. And unfortunately, there's nothing. So I'm adjusting up. Oop, I had something. Here we go. I get a little bit more of a sparkle or sparkle effect. Unfortunately, I'm not getting much. So I'm going with the contrast in and out. I'm going with the everything up and down. Let me try going through my channels real quick. So I'm at the bottom. I have nothing. I have nothing. I have moderately nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing again. I have nothing a third time. Nothing a fourth. So I pretty much believe that I have actually broken these goggles. So because I don't know what I'm transmitting, if I'm transmitting anything quote-unquote illegal, I'm going to disconnect this, because as of right now, I have actually broken those goggles. So please don't do this at home. It's not worth it. It's not worth anything one way versus another. And I wanted to start with this with a failure just to show you something. And somebody told me they wanted me to start with that one virus I was dealing with my Windows XP or my Windows 8 computer, and I'll get to that eventually. I'll do that in another video too. So here is the adapter, which I think ruined my my teleporter goggles. It is a female coaxial and a male SMA. That is a little pick, so I believe that's male SMA. I know you can't tell. Oh yeah, you can, okay. And then this is, I believe, female coaxial. So, not very good, but hey, why not, right? Right. And lo and behold, when I plug in my adapter here, my regular antenna, then I plug in my headset, what should happen? Well, I should begin to get some kind of a signal. What's really odd is that my volume no longer works. So I think I actually blew this completely out. Now what's really weird is that going forward and back on these, I see a little disturbance, but I think for the most part with the lighting and everything else, I have actually blown out the image the actual monitor of this. So that's what I believe. And I know you're not going to be able to see it very well here, but that's basically what I see there. Just not even the static. I mean, it's basically almost a white screen. Before I actually saw the static and how you could connect and everything, right now I see nothing. So, officially, I have unfortunately blown a gasket, technically, with these. I do believe it's very serviceable, and I think I just need to replace that piece there, but I've contacted Fat Shark, and they have yet to return an email, or actually return anything worthwhile where I can actually get serviced. It is unfortunate. I will attempt one more time to do something worthwhile and connect another piece to the antenna, but I don't see that this works one way or another. And I don't see it working to a better or a worse predicament. So, it's not the best, folks, but we can make it better. Definitely we can make it better. And what I want to do real quick is show you that I did, before I broke these, or supposedly broke these, I did pick up one of those 32 channel adapters, or the receivers, the AV receivers. And this is great, but with my goggles alone, I was able to get some fun things. I wasn't able to pick up anything that was, anything major. But I was able to, play with it and get the signal to pitch high and low and do everything like that. And I thought this would actually be quite fun to get and hook up to this system. Well, unfortunately, it has blown the gasket. So it is unfortunate that this has happened. And as you'll see, my SMA do not match. So even if I wanted to try, let me just try one quick thing here. As you know, the regular antenna does not work for this because they are both the male end. So that won't work. So if that won't work, folks, then unfortunately your antenna that is male to male will not work with a coaxial, because the coaxial is too big. That's why I bought the adapter, the SMA coaxial adapter. So I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. What I'm saying is you should look into it to find out how to do it right. I jumped into it and I got it wrong. It's unfortunate. But I wanted to put this up there as a, lived and learned video. Say hello. No? Okay. Alright. That was one of my kitties. So I wanted to put this out there as one of the lived and learned videos to show you that not everything works the exact way you think it should and or will. And because I jumped into this project without really looking at all the electronic gizmos and everything, I unfortunately had a problem I can't solve. And now I need to contact Fat Shark to service my goggles, which I think the solution is very small. I think they just need to replace the lens piece in there that receives the connection. And I think that would actually be quite cheap if I knew exactly what I needed to replace. But Fat Shark will not be getting back with me anytime soon, I imagine. So, it is unfortunate, but again, this is one of my little updates that I wanted to actually put up. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, why doesn't this work? Well, I really thought about it, and there is no reason this shouldn't have worked. I think what happened is that the antenna, for whatever reason, and the coaxial power, whatever you want to call it, in the background frequency, etc., needed to somewhat be lightened to go to the goggles. But the goggles, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing more than the monitors for your TV. So this should have been universal. It really shouldn't have been this serious of a problem where I fried the goggles. So, what do we really want to learn from this? Well, we want to learn how to manage our math and our electronics to where we don't end up ruining $200-300 equipment. Because it is unfortunate that at this point, these goggles are probably worthless. I could probably put my camera on right now. They probably wouldn't be able to pick up anything because they're no longer capable via the monitor of picking that up. Well, it's true, I could probably tune my receiver here into a TV and I could pick it up that way, no big deal. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to be able to hook up an antenna, which I know I probably shouldn't have gone straight for the TV. I should have went for one of the good RC antennas. And then hook that up to this, and then have that go to my goggles. So that when I was using my RC, when I actually had a plane and I could actually register it and everything else, because I don't actually have one anymore. My plane broke apart, and I took it apart, and I just have the pieces. That's all I have. So I'm trying to get a good system together to where when I finally do get one that's worthwhile, I can register it and fly it around, and it'll go for, a mile or two in every direction. Theory-wise, at least, The idea is that, you can go over a couple of trees, and fly off 100 yards, and your signal won't die on you. That would be the ideal situation. So, that's the ideal situation. And as it is right now, I have no more Fat Shark goggles. And Fat Shark has yet to respond to any of my emails, any of my requests. And I was very, very nice. I said, hey, how do I get this serviced? One of their techs could have sent me a nice message back, like, this is how you get this serviced. You either can't or you won't. See, because it flashes, let me show you. Because it still flashes when I do this. There we go. Yeah, you see the interruption there? Yeah. There we go. I still believe that it is serviceable. I still believe I can connect with my cameras and stuff. Oops, sorry. It's just static. You can't. It's like looking at a white wall, is what it is. It looks like it's actually doing something, but in reality, folks, it is not. I mean, when it tries to connect, it flashes, so that's good. It means that part is good, but the actual visual piece, I think, has actually blown. And it's unfortunate. Maybe there's a way to get something out of it. I'll probably have to crack it open and find out, but right now I just don't feel like doing that. And I want to learn a little bit more about what I'm doing before I do this again. And from what I understand here, folks, let me try this one more time. And oddly enough, I shook it just now, and I got some kind of a signal. So maybe I'm not totally in the dark. Maybe there is hope. So definitely look into your goggles. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I was sitting here underneath the table like this because I know before I saw like I grew up in the 90s and 80s and 90s, folks. We still had some TV channels that were like staticky and stuff, and if you went up to the antenna and you went, ah, you know, everything would work out eventually. So, looks like me shaking it under the table when I was going like that. Oddly enough, I apologize for the gesture, but I was going like this. It did seem to work, but I'm not certain how long that's going to work for and all the details leading up to that. So, for all in all, I believe this is busted, but I'll put up another video soon to see whether or not it is worth doing. I'm going to show you real quick to see if I can get something up and running, but I don't have my camera set up, so me searching through channels wouldn't do me any good right now, so I'm not even going to, just in case I might pick up something that I shouldn't be looking at. I haven't been able to in this area, or any other that I'm aware of, but you never know. You never know. And I don't want to upload something like that on here. So, all in all, ladies and gentlemen, this was my attempt to hook up my Fat Shark Teleporter goggles with an RCA TV antenna to basically widen the range. And basically the result was that I had a white screen. And that to me means that, well, they were broken. Now I showed you that I shook them and I got the wavy lines back, but I still need to make sure that Fat Shark can service these because I'm pretty certain they're still broke. I know a few of you are going to be like, oh, you had it off. I didn't have it off. Before I did this video, I turned it on and off like a dozen times, and it still had the white screen, so shaking it does work to some effect. I wouldn't agree to do that. So this is my first video. Fat Shark goggles and a TV antenna, why not? And I'm certain you can get it to work. I can't at the moment, but I'm certain you can with other connection pieces. And somebody wanted to know if the 5.8G would work on the Fat Shark system. And somebody said because they're both female, would it matter? And I have to say that it does connect, but that it will be a much weaker system, more than likely, than the mushroom, whatever this is. And this is an immersion RC piece, and this is just a regular 5.8G receiver antenna that I got for this. So hopefully in my next video I can get this up and running, and I can have one of my little cameras whichever one I have that still works. I had like one of them from a very old Wi-Fi camera that I had around, then I was able to connect to because it broadcasts off the 2.4 and 5.8, so you were able to just basically, get the frequency to work at some point. And at that point, you were able to make it work. Well, and then I had my Wi-Fi camera, or my RC little wireless camera, which I got with my plane that I had a while ago that unfortunately broke into a million pieces, so I took it apart and I saved the parts. So I have no more FPV capability, especially in the air. Even these don't work, so I'm basically sitting at a point where I have no FPV systems at the moment. So Fat Shark goggles and TV antenna, why not? Well, from my experience, you're going to basically cause the monitor or the goggles to actually break. I do believe there has to be something connecting the SMA coaxial adapter that kind of feeds into your antenna piece, which fluctuates the flow between. Like I said, I was able to shake it and get it back to working. But yesterday, a couple days ago, etc., I was not able to do that, and as you saw, I had a white screen. Now you guys are going to say, oh, you had it off. Like I said, I flickered it back and forth like 10 times. Okay, realistically 4 or 5 times. I wouldn't do it 10 times, and you'd really blow it if you really had to. So, unfortunately, best of my knowledge right now, no matter what you have connected to this, these are junk. I have them off right now because there's no battery. So, as you can tell, these are junk right now. So, it is unfortunate. But I wanted to put up the first video on failures because I wanted to see how you guys could fix it. Those of you tech geniuses out there, I wanted to see you guys fix it because I want to see how I can fix it. I have this little adapter, okay? I have my antenna. I have this. I don't think it's not possible to use one of these. I think that there are better antennas, but I don't think it's impossible to, not be able to use those. So, we'll see what one thing versus another is, and we'll kind of go from there, ladies and gentlemen. So, what I want to say is I wanted to bring you a failure video for the first one because I really do believe in putting up something that doesn't work first and then slowly going into the let's make it work better. My next video I'm going to work on will be one based off my Windows 8 and Windows 7 error, which had a blue screen and a smiley face. I know you know the error. I don't have it with me, but it'll be on my wherever my cell phone is, and I'll bring that up and I'll show you guys how to go through that process. I was coding in command prompt under admin. I was making new accounts. I was doing everything, and it just kept shutting down. And it really came down to 2 or 3 options, ladies and gentlemen, and it really seemed like that was a government-level virus, something that basically makes everything shut down to where your only option, honestly, your only option on that is and was to reinstall from your CD. And your CD that you have for your computer. And if you don't have it, you need to get it. I have one for my Sony Vaio laptop, which I loved. And I still need to get one for that. And when I get that, I'm going to have 2 kick-ass laptops. And so I'm basically trying my hardest to get that CD up and running. And that's like $75. I bought all the cheap, Windows repair discs and everything. Those don't work. If you're going to do a desktop, you're going to get the desktop CD. You can run that all day long. As you well know, with that virus, the restore functions don't work. You can restore it all day long. It's going to hang, it's going to shut down, and then the blue screen's going to pop up. All kinds of things are going to happen. Like I said, that's like a government level virus where the only thing you can do is restore from the original disk. And if you build your own, you can just go with the Windows startup disk and move on. Partition your hard drives, do whatever you got to do, and that's it. But right now, this is my situation. And I wanted to put up a fail video first, just to kind of show you that, these things do unfortunately happen, and it is beyond our control if we do not check all the things we are supposed to. Thank you.